Hello, everyone. Fran Strickland here with Tapped In with Vera Lead Biz Solutions. I'm delighted to be with you today. We have a very interesting guest and a very interesting topic that we're going to tackle. I'm with the wonderful Ronnie Loaiza, who is known as RonnieLo Habit Coach. And she's someone who works with people who want to grow, be successful, and help them do the right things that get them to their goals. Now, Ronnie is, I met her in some other venues. I've had time to spend with her and talk to her about what she does, and I've actually learned some very important ideas and insights that I've applied in my own life. So, Ronnie, thank you so much for being on my platform today. Finally, we get a chance to spend some time together and to give you an opportunity to share with my audience those same insights that have been so helpful for me. So, how are you today?
I am doing great, thank you. I'm in Los Angeles, California, and it's over 80 degrees today. And then
Wow.
friends on the East Coast, well, I know you're in Europe, but it's like, "It's a foot of snow here." No, everybody's doing great as long as they take care, but thanks
Right,
for asking.
right, right. So, well, sometimes I think about 80 degrees would be nice, but I actually like the cold. I used to live in
Yeah.
Wisconsin when I remember one winter we got like 24 inches in just a matter of hours. So I like the cold, but sometimes it's nice to have that warm weather too. So let's get started because I know that you're anxious to share, and I'm anxious to hear, and I'm sure everyone out there is anxious to hear. So, Ronnie, why don't we start out by talking a little bit about what's the problem that you're trying to solve for the people that you serve?
Where do I start? I have this, that to do. I know that everything's important. Of course it is. That's the problem. I've even heard that. I know that when you work with clients, like, whoa, 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 you have to slow down to go faster. I help people reach their goals. And that can be, if you look at it just like a Zoom meeting, you have two blocks if you have two people, right? Side by side.
Mhm,
And people think of their lives as their professional side and their personal side. And then there's, little things in within. Really, we have all aspects of our life that impact the other. I mean, really, Francis, our relationships affect our career. Our career affects our love life. Our financials affect our whole life. Our work affects our relationships, and on and on and on. And our eating, our fitness, our self care affects every impact of our life. So,
mhm,
everything's a subset of each other. So, whatever goal people come to me in mind, what's at top of their mind, we usually end up working on all aspects of their lives, mainly toward that one goal they came to me with. Whether it's in
mhm,
career growth, how can I grow in my own career, at my own company, move up in management, or if they want to go solopreneur, entrepreneur, or a career transition. I've been
mhm,
working a lot and mainly with midlifers. To me, that's
mhm,
40 and up. Hopefully,
mhm,
it's 55 and up that's a midlife for you. But I work with midlifers who I want to do more. I want to leave a legacy. My kids are, they're empty nesters, or maybe they never had kids, whatever it is, or a lot of gray divorce. People are transitioning and they want to thrive. They don't want to just
mhm,
retire and do nothing. I mean, some people do,
mhm,
but really, people don't want to do nothing. They want a purpose. They want a
mhm,
legacy. So I've been working with a lot of midlifers. And then I also work with a lot of, because I was a personal trainer. I'm still a
mhm,
certified personal trainer. I keep up my credentials. I work a lot with fitness habits, eating habits, and self-care habits, which
mhm,
always feeds into their family and relationships and their career.
mhm. So Ronnie, what I really like about what you said is that you so clearly lay out that people are indeed whole, meaning that they are not leaving a portion of who they are at the gate or in the car or somewhere else when they're in another place. We take all of that with us and it has an impact. There is a dynamic that happens through all those different aspects of living. And I really like that you emphasize that it really truly is a whole person intervention that you bring or that you support people in doing to achieve their goals. Now, obviously, you have a lot of energy, and also you talked about the fact that you have maintained your credentials to be a personal trainer. But there's a story behind how you got from A to B. Why don't you share that with us?
Oh, I'd love to. And I do, right before I tell you about me, it's something I just thought of when you said that. When we're talking about holistic, and I'm saying it impacts one area of your life, impacts the other, and it kind of goes into my story too. I'm not saying bring your work home. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying bring your family to work, meaning you're
Mm-hmm.
always answering calls and dealing with home life at work. No, what I'm saying is that you are present. You are so
Mm-hmm.
present in where you are that you can compartmentalize, but you as a whole person, how you're thriving physically and mentally affects the
Mm-hmm.
other part. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that bring yourself to everything. I'm saying that you are already there and you can be fully present. And it kind of counts with me because my health m- brought me to be a personal trainer. I was in
Mm-hmm.
PR and I was also in news. I was doing radio news here in Los Angeles, but I hurt physically. My
Mm-hmm.
hip was hurting like you wouldn't believe, and then a little bit of my back. Anyway, long story short, I went to Western medical doctors. One of them wanted to fuse my spine. Another one just wanted to give me painkillers, wear the patch. I had a hernia. I had degenerative disc disease. I learned that that was just aging. You're losing fluid between your vertebrae. But I'm a little girl. I'm like 5'2", and I was pounding the heck out of my body in my younger days doing, Francis, you remember this? Aerobics.
Oh yes,
It's
yes I
now
do.
called cardio. But
Uh-huh.
I was, doing the step classes and the jogging and all that. But I was just really pounding the heck out of my body. And anyway, fast forward, I was put with chiropractors, acupuncture, ultras, you name it. I tried it. Nothing worked. Decompression. And I didn't want to get my back fused. I finally was put with one chiropractor who just really listened to me. And at looking all my, stats and everything, he's like, it seems like you need to strength train. You need to build your bones and you need some to build your muscle, especially as you're aging. And I was not athletic at all. I worked
Mm-hmm.
out, but I was not athletic per se. But I'm like, okay, a personal trainer. He put me with a corrective exercise personal trainer. And within 2 weeks, I didn't hurt anymore. This was after years because I learned how to properly work out. That's what got me excited about, maybe it was the reporter in me asking a lot of questions, reading up on health and nutrition and working out and midlife. And finally, my personal trainer said, you need to become a personal trainer. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, I'm in my mid 40s. Who does that? She's like, well, you're your own walking billboard. You're in better health now and in better shape now, and people will believe you. And so, after a year of that, I woke up one morning and I said, I think I want to be a personal trainer. My mission then was with each client, as I saw, is what helped me. Anybody can give you a workout. Anybody can hand you that at the time. Now it's like, go to this video. Anybody can count reps for you. You can watch it on YouTube. That's not where my clients succeeded. They succeeded if they showed up, period, end of story, every day
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
themselves, whether it's to the gym or for themselves at home or outside, whatever. Do something daily physical every day, not just walk the dog. It's great for the dog, but what about you? I
Mm-hmm.
got them to form habits. And I would joke
Mm-hmm.
around. I finally thought, I want to make it my mission for that person to be as fit as that person could be, not what they read
Mm-hmm.
in the magazines.
Mm-hmm.
That's what brought me to be a personal trainer and
Mm.
coming out when you have to. But that's fast forward to me coaching when the pandemic hit. I could no longer go to my private clients or the studios. Bing, bang, boom, I was on Zoom. And a few people asked me, can you talk to my boss? She's not taking care of herself, or my sister, or my friend. And I was like, okay. So we would hop on Zoom and I talked to them, and we always found out what the crux of the problem was. And Francis, it was never about, I don't have enough time. It
Mhm.
could start out like that, but it was always something else. And we would really find a solution for them. And the main thing with me was, now I look back at it, it was get in the habit of doing something. I don't care if it's 5 minutes in the morning, boom, get it out of the way. We would find what would work for them.
Mhm.
And somebody said, you really coach me well. You should become a coach. And somebody else said you should be a coach. And so finally, too many people were telling me I should coach. And I was a little cynical. I'm like, everybody all of a sudden is a life coach. So I looked into it. And I took it seriously. I'm like, wow, this is impressive. The first time I looked at a list of types of coaches, there were 32. Everything from executive coach to menopause coach, midlife coach. You know this, lots of different kind of niches. So I went to an ICF accredited through a program. I have now moved up in the levels and I am a master certified professional coach. And that's how I became a coach. But how I became a habit coach is because, again, I applied Ronnie when people finally, really got clear on their why, which everybody hears, but it's important. You have to really get clear on your why, and that usually changes after peeling off the layers, or you get really, really down to it. After getting clear on your why for your goal, usually the goal morphs as well. And then, okay, what action steps will we take? And then with the action steps, don't go so big. Don't go so much. And I'm not saying don't go big, don't go high on your dream and the end goal. I'm saying all the steps, because people were buying 10,000, 20, $30,000 programs and would not finish them. They would just go in those
Mm-hmm.
modules on computers. Or usually, like I saw as a personal trainer, but also as a coach, they would do the detoxes and the diets and the programs and all this, and it fizzle out. Why? Because it's not what they were doing in the first place. It wasn't your habit. So I would always, whatever we were working on, professional or personal, slow down. What one tiny action will you do that even on your worst day, when you least feel like it, you will do? And it'll at least keep the momentum. Slow is better than no go. Momentum
Mm-hmm.
beats motivation every day, hands down. Momentum beats self discipline. Momentum beats constantly revving up your willpower, because that gets exhausting. It works. So then all of a sudden, the algorithms were on my computer. I saw a lot of habit, 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 this. I looked into it. There is such a thing as habit coaching, and I became certified. And I love it. I love the science of the behavioral change.
Okay, so your journey was you had a lot of confirmation along the way, where people were benefiting from having conversations with you, and they're saying, "Hey, you should coach." That was great. The other thing is that you also had a natural curiosity to look into and to learn about, to learn about a variety of things, but actually to spend time and understand how those different pieces work together. And the other thing, and I was going to say this, and you called it out, was understanding your why. And I remember when I started my own journey, and I was going to have my own business. That was a wonderful dream, but until I got very clear that that was my essential, that was my goal around which I was making the decisions to think about what I was going to do, what I was going to prioritize. Until I got clear on that, everything else impinged on that space.
Mm,
And I had, I did volunteer work, very good things to do, but not the best things to align with my goals. And it became a habit. So this is my lead in. This is my lead in, just from a very personal experience,
yeah.
because I hear you saying it's not about time. It's basically the way people view the world around whatever. Either is so big, it's daunting, and people never get started, or
Yeah.
they haven't learned how to break it down in bite-sized nuggets so that they can take it a small step at a time and see the results. So I know you have some things behind it. I think you just gave us one key: small steps. Please go ahead. Tell us more about what it takes to really make inroads with habits that you want to change.
Well, the thing is, people have been all of a sudden reading about habits again ever since Atomic Habits. God love James
Mm-hmm.
Cleary. It's not new. And when I was
Mm-hmm.
reading it, fast read, I was nodding my head. Yep, 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 yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep, yep. Because I
Mm-hmm.
had read, Brian Fogg. I had read many, many studies and research on behavior change when I was getting continuing education units as a personal trainer. You have to recertify every 2 years. And I love the behavioral science of it. So it was nothing new. What James added was his own personal life. So you got to look, there's a point to this. Look at your own personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it you're not doing what you're doing? What's the
Mhm.
resistance? People skip that part. It's like, oh, I've got this bad habit. Or, I go on the couch and I'm just like numbing myself, or I'm eating mindlessly, or whatever it is. Well, there's a reason for that. And people find it hard to quit a so-called bad habit. And a bad habit is anything that's not serving you and you know it's a bad habit. Don't let anybody else judge it. If you say it's a bad habit, then it is. The thing is, your brain doesn't know the difference. You get dopamine.
Mhm.
You're getting something even out of things you don't like doing, even
Mhm.
something that you don't want to do anymore, or that's you're doing instead of something you want to be doing, or you say you want to be doing. Like, I really should get up and go work out. I really should, whatever, organize, declutter, whatever it is. Whether it's a good habit or bad habit, your brain only knows, your computer brain only knows you get a hit of dopamine. So the first step is really look at, if you're doing something you don't like doing, I don't know, I'm going to pick one, like scrolling on Instagram at bedtime when you know you should be reading a book or meditating, or whatever it is that you say you need for your sleep ritual. But then again, you start scrolling and you're on there for half an hour, and you get to sleep lights out late, and every morning you tell yourself, okay, tonight I'm going to do it. I'm going to, lights out. But you keep repeating it. Well, when you think about it, and I'm using a couple of case studies, people had a hard day, and darn, that's my reward. You get
Right.
something out of it. So what void can you fill? What void are you filling, or what are you rewarding yourself for? So you have to start a little bit with your own self coaching. With my help, if I'm coaching them, it's faster and streamlined than therapy. Okay, there may be the backstory, that's great, but we're in the now. And then to create a habit, I mean, just the fundamentals. Every scientist and every self help book that you read about habits has the exact same thing, even though some people call it with different terms. Some people say the trigger, some people say the first domino, some people say the activator. I'm going to go with activator. To create a habit, once you're ready and you set and you've decided the one tiny action, not a whole habit, not a whole routine, one action that with repetition, 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 repetition will form into a habit. So you pick one tiny action, but you need an activator. And Francis, everybody thinks of, okay, I'll set an alarm. I'll put it in my calendar, or I'll put on a post-it. Well, the post-it, if it just sits there on your computer screen, after a while, it just becomes part of the peripheral vision. Or
Mhm.
you turn off the alarm and you don't do the thing. Or you never look at your calendar. So I've been through all that, the skin and knees with my clients. We really have to find the thing that no matter what will prompt you to do it, catapult you to do it. Whether it's an
Mhm.
accountability buddy, whether it's you're already dressed to go work out and walk the dog, whether it's, whatever, we find the activator. Sometimes it takes two or three things. We find what's going to spur you so it becomes like a thing. The reason being is when you get up in the morning, you don't think every morning like 51st Dates. Remember that movie? Drew Barrymore. You don't get up in the morning and go, who am I and what do I do? You don't. You just boom, do what you naturally normally do. Maybe in a little different sequence every day, but you mostly do the same basic thing in the morning, right? That's a
Mhm.
routine. You don't think,
Mhm.
how do I brush my teeth? You just do it, because there are thoughts. There's an activator, a subconscious activator. Boom, boom, boom. You do this, this, this. So that's what you need to form a habit, an activator. Then, before you start the whole process, you need to look at how to boost your ability. Do you have the support from your family, from your peers, from your friends, whoever? Even if it's get out of my way and don't get in my way, if it's that kind of support. Do you have the information? Do you have the
Mhm.
resources, the equipment, whatever it is, the education? So make sure that you're absolutely setting yourself up for success. Get rid of the Skittles in the kitchen. Get rid of the donuts, whatever it is. You have to put up barriers, and you have to get rid of stuff.
Mean to tell me I have to get rid of my donuts? Oh no.
Is there a problem? Is there not a problem? No. But the temptation is there. If you're gonna wander into that office kitchen, and there's a donut and there's an apple, what is your habit?
Mm.
Is it your habit to grab the apple or the banana, or is it your habit to grab the donut? So that's what you got to look at. Um,
Ah.
and the third thing, which is huge, there are four things, four pillars. The third thing is accountability, and the
Okay.
fourth is to make the repeatability easy. So the third, I have changed in my coaching to celebrative accountability.
Mhm.
Celebrate it. So you're on your way to do the thing the action. I'm on my way to do this. Even if it's something you're not used to or you don't like. I'll use one of my clients, for example, but many of my clients have done this. One client, she had me laughing so much all the time because she hated doing weights. I mean, like that much. And
Hmm.
her doctor said, you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, the whole thing, and you're going into perimenopause. You need to do more resistance training, not just walking. Walking is wonderful, but even her own doctor said you need muscle and you need bone. So she was like, okay. I'm like, okay, we finally deciphered what's one thing you could do. Because she named like 10 things, because I always go through that with my clients. Spaghetti on the wall. What are some things, even if they seem ridiculous, and you're going to pick one? And usually people want to pick two, three, or four. I can do this and this and that. Yeah, you could. Let's just pick one. All right. Really, really succeed at that one. So she decided, since she always did at least want to go walk during her lunchtime, that she would do one muscle, just biceps. That's it. Next day, just glutes. Next day, just calves. And it would only take 1 to maybe 3 minutes tops. Okay. And on her way to do it, she'd be like, I hate doing this, and I'm going to do it anyway. Notice, Francis, I said and, not but. Because when you say but,
Hmm.
isn't it like somebody puts a hand up and says but, or a tennis racket or something? It's like, no, no, no. Don't stop it. And because that's the truth. Your brain knows the truth. If you say, oh, I love this, like all these happy Pollyanna affirmations, but you have a grain of doubt or fear or it's not true, our brains look for that to prove that right. Yeah, you're
Hmm.
fearful. No, you're not a millionaire yet. No, you're not in shape yet. What are you talking about? That's the problem with affirmations. There's a fine line between a real confirmation affirmation or a hopeful one where you have some doubt. So, in the celebrative accountability, I'm on my way. As you're doing the thing, I'm doing it. And as soon as you did it, celebrate. It can be a happy dance, a high five, jot it down. If you don't have time for much or you're not, that's not your personality, a lot of my clients just put a little green check mark. Boom, done. But I have them say it out loud when they're first doing this, all the way, because
Hmm.
it's somatic. The more senses you get into it, the more fires together, wires together. The more that fires together,
Hmm.
wires together. So let's say you're writing it down, say it out loud. You're not only breathing it out, getting it out of your chest and your throat, you're also hearing it. It goes back into your own computer brain, and you're physically writing it or typing it. So the
And
more,
and and
yeah,
excuse me, but is it also true is that as you say, you speak it out loud and it's coming up and it's coming through.
yeah,
But even the vibration of speaking it's
yes.
kind of like it's somatic knowledge, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's
Thank
just
you for
kind of in your system, right?
Yeah, thank you for describing that. That's what I meant by the chest. You
Yeah,
feel it, the vibrations
yeah.
in your chest. You feel the breath.
Uh-huh.
You feel the vibrations in your throat. Even if you're not really paying attention to it, you do feel it. So yeah,
Hmm.
thank you for clarifying that. I love that because I get so excited
Yeah.
when I'm describing it.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. I understood it. I just wanted to make sure I pulled that out because so many people are good. They kind of have it in their mind and they're meditating on it. But to combine as many senses as possible makes it truly an experience.
Hmm.
And then when you give that, as you say, that celebratory check mark or whatever that is, it just kind of feeds on itself. You get another dopamine hit, right?
That's exactly why you're doing it because your brain goes noted, capable, doing it, done. So you're reinforcing. This is where the confidence comes in because you're giving yourself evidence. Not only are you hitting yourself up for, look at me, I'm a rock star, brag on yourself. I tell people there's a difference between self pride and bragging on yourself, as I call it. But really, it's about validating yourself and acknowledging, yes, I'm doing it. You want to get even happier? Great. Um, so it hits the dopamine. So when you get that dopamine, what does our biochemistry want? It wants it again. It wants it again. It always wants what will give it dopamine. Same thing with the bad habit. So That's what I call celebrative accountability. You're going to learn how to hold yourself accountable because it's fun. Because a lot of people shy away from accountability. You know, you see people say, oh, yeah, I want an accountability buddy. I want an accountability pod. I want somebody to hold me accountable. And then they don't.
Mhm.
You
Right.
know, they ghost you or they quit or, oh my gosh, this is hard. And you have to also count on the other person. Eventually, you have to become self accountable, don't you?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
that's a good, and yes, support is different than accountability. It's great to start with accountability and support each other, but you shouldn't have to depend on it or you won't do it.
Hmm.
You know, it's a
Okay.
great starting point. The fourth pillar is make it all repeatable. This is great, but don't make it temporary. Don't make it temporary. That's the problem with, let's just go with health. The 30-day challenges, the 5-day detoxes, the diets, all of this stuff, they're temporary. And we read
That's
that all the
right.
time in marketing because it's true. It's
But
not something,
but that's what people want, right?
yeah.
They want to get this short period of time, give me X, and I do it and I walk away from it. But the reality is it takes the repetition, the follow-up, the checking
And the
in.
lifestyle, make it
Yeah.
so much on autopilot that it becomes a part of who you are. This is pragmatic and it's scientifically based, and it's just fact. What you do every day on a consistent basis is you. That's your identity. And what you do all the time naturally without no struggle is just you. That's your lifestyle or that's your work style. So when it becomes you make the repeatability doable, it's no longer temporary. You make sure that, yeah, this is doable. This is my lifestyle. See what I mean? So
Mhm.
those are the four pillars of creating a habit. And then, of course, it takes work. And here's the thing people always ask me, how long will it take? I don't know. They hate that because all the meta studies show, and the latest one that I looked at was in 2025. Meta study, in case somebody that isn't familiar with the term, is when you take different studies from different demographics relatively different times. Not too far,
Mhm.
like 40 years ago, but, you know, within 5
Yeah.
years, I would say, I'm guessing most of them are within the 3 or 4 years. So you
Sure.
take one meta study that's a conglomeration of different studies. The meta studies show that to form a habit can take anywhere from 25 to 185 days,
Mhm.
usually.
Mhm.
And I see it as 3 months, around 90 days, only from my experience. No science-backed study, just from my clients. When I've looked at them, the golden number is 3 months. I don't know why. Maybe because they are celebrating when they're working with me. They are doing the work. But you have to be patient with yourself and you will skin your knees. If you skip once, okay, you're human. If you skip twice, okay, let's start looking at this. More than 3 times, okay, that's not working. And that's okay. Put your white lab coat on. When you're starting to do that action that you want to turn into a habit that will progress you to your goal, that is an experiment. We're taking data. It's not etched in stone. If something's not working, you're really struggling, that was the wrong action, or maybe we can tweak it, or maybe it's a little bit more of the mindset. Whatever it is, we have to fix it.
Yeah.
Maybe you reached too far. Maybe that isn't really your thing. You just thought that's what I should do. For me, for example, I'm just going to give myself as the guinea pig example or just the example.
Yeah, we have a couple minutes though, so
Yeah.
and
I
I want to
can
make sure
meditate.
you tell us how to reach you. Okay,
I'm
please
not a
go ahead.
meditator, you know, I'm not
Right.
like a chanting 20-minute meditator. I
Yeah.
love that. Maybe once a year. What works for me, I found out, is very somatic. Either walk and meditate or EFT. I can do EFT tapping in 1 minute and I'm so present. I talk to myself so I can't be doing or thinking about grocery lists or fall asleep like I do with meditation. I'm
Mm.
talking to myself about what I want to address and I'm tapping myself in different points. So my whole point was experiment. You will find what works for you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. So my big takeaway is I mean, you've got the four pillars, but don't be so how should I say? I don't want to say legalistic or perfectionist about it.
Rigid or no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
this. No, your plan A may not be my plan A.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So you have really given us quite a rich download and insights and what it takes for us to really capitalize on having a new idea and getting there, which are four pillars. And then you underscore it with don't be rigid. See it as an experiment and evolve it until it becomes who you are. And it becomes easy for you to be able to stick to it, the whole lifestyle change. Now, in the interest of time, I want to get two things from you. Okay. The first thing is, what's your last word? What's your last word to our audience today that you want them to take away? And then I want you to tell us how people can get in touch with you and tap into your expertise.
You are never too set in your ways to create a new habit or to get rid of one. I used to say you're never too old, but this counts for, I see a lot of people in their 20s and 30s that think they're not thinking they're too old. They're just like, oh, but I just, they just think they're just too ingrained in something, or that's just me. I don't know if I can quit, or I don't know if I could start that. You're never too set in your ways. We were born without habits. When we came out from our mommy's womb, we did not have habits. You conditioned yourself and you were conditioned. So the good news is you can do that. You are capable.
Wow, that's profound. That's profound. So, and you know, I hear so many people say that's just the way I am, and reinvention and as you say, reconditioning how you think is just so essential, especially for people who are entrepreneurs and leaders. They're adapting all the time, and that's such an essential capability to be able to do. So, listen, everybody, remember, it is never too late or impossible for you to recondition how you think and behave. Number two, please tell us, how can people reach you?
I like mostly in my professional world, but also private, to be on LinkedIn. I love
Mhm.
LinkedIn. I've made so many wonderful connections. I've discovered people myself. I engage. So please, I would love to meet you. Find me on LinkedIn, Ronnie Loaiza, Loaiza. I also have a website, which I'm sure will be in the show notes, so you can see testimonials, stories, whatever it is, what I do, my process. That's RonnieLoLifeCoach.com, RonnieLoLifeCoach.com. And I am on Facebook as well. So I'm on all the social media, but LinkedIn is my main one.
Okay. So, everybody, we can reach Ronnie. Look for her on LinkedIn. There's other outlets, and for sure, when we go live, we will have her connection information right there in the comments section so that you can click on it and go and have a conversation with her. I can tell you, as I said, I've had a number of conversations with her, and I've always found them so enriching and helps me to recalibrate. And you know, that's the beauty of having a relationship with someone like Ronnie and having it over time. And so I'm very delighted with what she and I have, and I hope that you will also find that same kind of insight and support and growth. And remember, tapped in with Vera Lead Biz Solutions is all about our helping leaders, founders, entrepreneurs, people who are very busy day in and day out. You know, they're building something, they're building their businesses, but you know, people are more than just business and profession. They are also human and they're personal. And tapped in with Verily Biz Solutions is about helping people continue to grow and evolve in all aspects. So you can see why I wanted to have Ronnie on my platform. So I'm Fran Strickland. I am the owner founder of Verily Biz Solutions, and our business is helping businesses get to predictable performance and predictable profits. And guess what? I bet there's some habits in that space as well. So that's it for today. Ronnie, thank you so much for your time. You've been fantastic, as I knew you would. And folks, I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.